welcome back to Chats with Jack. I am Jack Talcott. And greetings, blessings, salutations, and love. Once again, welcome back to Chats with Jack. I am Jack Talcott, and I tell you what, I am just truly excited to share the inspirations I found earlier. I'm hoping to bring those out and share those while we're here. And so a sincere thank you to all of you who find your way, follow the spirit, pursuing the opportunities to check in, to discover what's going on with the Talcottian adventure today. Thank you to all of you, whether it's live or later, and sincerely. Greetings to the beautiful brothers and sisters of Talcottia. It's true love that's being shared. Happy Saturday to everyone. And I freaking, Zach, Joe Rogan, Trump, man. Yeah, get me in a room with those two. Let me explain a few things to them. We'll get into what's what. No wonder people think Jack's arrogant, man. I hear myself, brothers and sisters. I am going to open the link up here very soon. Just a few ideas I want to get through while I'm in a good mood. And I hope to share that. I hope to share some inspirations. It really is our reality. We've got to accept the truth, even when it's sad, even when it's bad. And the facts show it's a pattern of history. We're a part of history today again. We have money for war, but we can't feed the poor. That doesn't make a lot of sense. So maybe when I open up the panel, maybe we'll get some people that can help me make sense of that idea. But on an individual level, right, from the coaching perspective, simple and obvious wisdom, really. Evaluate yourself. Where are your priorities? And you can see where your priorities are based on where you are investing your time, energy, resources. And do you invest your time, energy, and resources into defenses, preparations, battles, wars, arguments, revenge? It's easy to do. The other option for us, though, is consciously, with a grateful heart, invest your time, energy, and resources into nurturing that which you want and learning and growing, right? Invest in your own health, your physical health, your mental health, and above all, your spiritual health. The priorities. The world has misplaced its priorities. We were born into a world that has misplaced value systems. It's clearly shown in the society. So what I hope to do is encourage all of us, me included. We can all improve the world that we live in. And I encourage you, consider the idea, become a vessel. Because that's really what we are. We are a vessel of life here on earth at this time. And we can be a vessel for goodness, for glory, for blessings, or we can be a vessel of lacking and fear. I've played those roles, man. Become a true vessel for peace and reforms here on earth. Reform, repent, change, whatever word helps you, right? Recognize that We have the opportunity to grow in our peace, our life in so many different ways when we're willing to change. What I've been practicing for myself is to surrender, to trust that there is a Holy Spirit of goodness that's with me, and surrender to that Holy Spirit and go to the holiness, the holy answers for guidance. And let's follow the way of Christ Jesus. All of us. You don't have to be religious. You don't even have to proclaim it, as far as I know. But, you know, the world is the way that it is, paying for wars and ignoring the poor because we've been allowing it. That's what I've come to accept. I'm not in a down place today. I am I am actually in wonderful spirits. Please, for those who want to join, I started a little early today. It is Saturday. I picked up a couple of notes on the overnight. I had an interesting night last night. For those who tune in for that part, on the spur of the moment, I had it in my calendar that there was a fundraising event last night here in Spokane, and the Facebook reminder reminded me after the live stream, and the organization is Light Attracts Light, I believe. Started out as a few things. A guy from town, he overcame poverty and homelessness, and he started a program giving out backpacks to residents who were homeless and impoverished. You know, some life essentials for someone who's roughing it out in the streets. So he's got an amazing story of growth, and he was actually part of that Mike Rowe thing. Mike Rowe, the television guy, he did a thing with this guy Rick Camp. Anyway, it's a wonderful organization here in town that's been supporting local businesses, doing a lot of uh, cooperative efforts with other organizations. So I ventured out and I was imagining what what might arise, right? Well, I don't want to say how much it cost, but it the tickets weren't free, and my life has been bizarre. I struck out again, but regardless, I got to support a local charity and spend some time with some like-minded people. But see, I've been trying to figure out, where is the Holy Spirit leading me? You know, I try to make sure that what I'm doing is not just for Jack, not just to get attention for Jack or to do something, but in life, even when you are paying attention and you're trying to do what's right, it's really easy to overlook opportunities. You know, it's really easy to stay in the past considering different things, different outcomes. I just brought that up because it was part of my night. And then today I'm actually kind of curious and hopeful about who may want to join today. There's been interesting conversations and interesting streams. If I'm not mistaken, our friend Tommy was still live streaming about me when I started. So These YouTube screets, so to say, they are truly fascinating. It's hard to know what's what, not just online, but in our lives. Who do you trust? Who's trying to take advantage of you? Who's just using you and what you've got for their own selfish reasons? Who knows? You can literally drive yourself nuts with reasons to distrust, with reasons to battle, reasons to fight. You can find reasons to be angry. You can find reasons to hurt. You can find reasons for anything. So the key that I found is figure out what you want. Pay attention to what you're doing. If you're constantly hearing yourself complain, like some of the characters we see online, if you're hearing yourself constantly complain, recognize it's time to change something, probably that thing you're complaining about. And maybe that thing you're complaining about is actually out of your control. I'm trying to consider, maybe I do come across as complaining about wars, right? I know I talk about it a lot. So the things we're complaining about, if it is out of our hands, like literally, and I recognize I didn't start any wars. Did you? Well, since maybe you and I didn't start wars, and I know there's people that want to say America's not in a war. Holy shit. The masses are so deceived, brothers and sisters. The masses are so deceived. You get to figure out, is it me? Or you can disbelieve Jack, what Jack's saying. Jack doesn't know what he's talking about. There's so many people want to convince you, whoever you might be. Many of my viewers have found opposition. Praise God. God is so glorious. God is so amazing, truly. I encourage you, whatever point you are at in your life, it's time. Your relationship with God can become a priority. Because once you make something a priority, you'll spend time thinking about what you've committed yourself to. Commit yourself to God. See what you can learn, what you can discover. I mean, churches and books are great resources, but it's real easy to get consumed with and overwhelmed with all of the information. So that's where I encourage you, go within your heart, spend time with you in the presence of God, in the presence of holiness, because God's presence and holiness is eternal. What are you? Kind of brings in something I brushed over briefly, and I've been meaning to come out with. Know thyself. For those, maybe you guys are familiar. There's a guy online, KRYS1, KRS1, something like that. He's a friggin' brilliant dude, man. Brilliant dude. And so this is kind of what I borrowed from him, and I don't have the video pulled up. But the message is know thyself. Who is the self that you're seeking to know? How well do you know that self that you're seeking to know? Where do you find this self if it's not just the body, right? Well, take those words, know thyself, and speak them first out loud, but whether you speak them out loud or not, the next step is speak them silently. So know thyself, and if you can witness that know thyself that is spoken yet unspoken, ask yourself, who is the self that is speaking without speaking? And then beyond that, who is aware of that speaker? See, the awareness of life is the gift that God has given us amongst so many other things, right? Concepts, ideas, everything comes from God. I didn't understand that for a long time. I've resisted the ideas. Because when you start considering these things, if you don't speak it clearly, you sound completely insane. And even when you do speak it clearly, the truth, the objective truth, the trueness of God and the unity of oneness sounds unbelievable. But that's why spirituality and religion requires believers. You must believe. When you think you know, well, you must believe you believe in whatever you want. I was considering this, the human ego, the way we're designed, right? The primitive beast that's within the Antichrist that will limit the Christic from coming forth. The way we're designed, the society has manipulated and conditioned the dark side, the confused side, the limited side through propaganda, whether it was intentional or not. The result is mankind makes a lot of mistakes. Each of us do. Collectively, it's the same way, right? If you look into history, well, slavery, one of the most obvious ones here in America. But then you got like lead pipes and you got all these other things, putting chemicals in the water and you got all these crazy things that mankind and corporations and governments and scientists are doing. Excuse me. And it's wreaking havoc in our world. There's been a lot of mistakes made. But as with the individual and the collective, until we accept and admit a mistake, it's fighting over denial and argument and litigation and these court systems and the judicial systems. Brothers and sisters, I love you guys. I love this life I'm living. To me, the way that God has allowed me to develop, unbelievable. And yet I think it's real. Because if it's real, if today's real and this is like really Saturday and I'm really Jack Talcott, whatever that means, the world is likely to be celebrating very soon. Because what I'm saying, I keep finding more simple, I keep discovering more simple ways to explain that which is obvious and that which is true. And so that's where my faith in our design, the way mankind is designed, anyone can understand anything. Okay. Hey, that reminds me. So, like yesterday, there's a channel Burns Eye something Bernie. For those, there's many in this YouTube community. You guys know who I mean. Um, the science guy. He had some brilliant conversations last night from scientists looking at the hazards in the world, and so bringing the scientific minds and brilliant people together, they're seeing the same things, right? Experts have been used to be misleading. That's the first thing that came to mind was the whole Catholic tradition, creating these experts on religion and a gateway to salvation. Brothers and sisters, salvation is yours to claim. Whatever salvation means to you, that's between you and God to figure out. It means, to me, it means overcoming the problems, overcoming, you know, becoming greater than the problems you're facing, greater than the shortages you might be experiencing, greater than the temporary pains and discomfort your body might be revealing to you. Everything, by God's grace, everything happens. So if you can believe in God's grace and start living as though you trust in God's grace, what if it's true that we, you, me, and everyone we know, what if we are here to lead the world into repentance, change, and reform? That's what Jesus was here to do. We're here to help educate each other, help guide and lead each other through inspirations, encouragement, support. But there's a lot of people who've convinced themselves they can't help someone else until I heal myself, I can't help someone. Says who? If you're aware and present with someone who's facing a real life problem, number one, be there. Be there with your heart, not just coming up with answers and ideas. Be there first with your heart, with in a moment of crisis. Maybe it's you. You need to be there with you in a moment of crisis. And then while being there, being present, I'm going to try and practice this. We get a lot of people who join. They seem to be having some crisis. The world's going to crumble unless Talcott gets opposed. Holy cows, man. Praise God. I kind of forgot where I was there. But hey, blessings to all of you. Yes, please, please do share the like. Um, hey, please imagine me at the UN. Imagine me at the UN, please. And then let's figure out how to make that happen. I think the most logical path for an American citizen would be through invitation, of course. That's the way it would have to be. But I think a good path would be through the United States Congress. So I just got to find a way in front of them or the UN or someone who wants to help end wars and bring reforms to the world. I can't believe. Praise God, this is the life I'm living. I was going to say, I can't believe the things I'm saying, but that's not true. I have to accept the life I'm living. I have to accept the things I'm saying. I reflect on what I say often. And when I speak, I'm paying attention within. How is my conscience responding? That's how you know what is true. You trust that there is an inner guidance system with you that cares for you more than you care for you. But the key is to understand that guidance system within. The worldly ways through entertainment and propaganda, even shows and stuff you may think are real innocent that we watched growing up, it was setting poor examples of behavior, uh, particularly the brainwashing of men. But hey, women have been brainwashed for. When I'm saying brainwashed, being convinced to behave in a lesser way, or being convinced to believe in diminished value. See, whether it's intentional or not, the world we were born into is severely corrupted. There's damage and trauma being created and relived over and over and over. Some of the neighborhoods, you might not know that's what's happening, but when you hear the domestic violence and all the fighting happen in the household, that's what that is. It's unresolved trauma being relived and created over and over. It's been a while since I've seen one of those homes. And that was not in my household. That was not with my son. Not in the ways I'm picturing. Hey, so sometimes ooh, actually, here, that's the path to enlightenment. The path to enlightenment is to recognize, to be honest with yourself that it's possible I learned some things that were not true. It's possible I told others things that were not true, because at the time maybe that's what we was convincing or whatever. So the path to enlightenment, the path to growing into the pure and true you, who you are already, is to unlearn the bad habits. So it may feel like you're being brainwashed here. I understand. I mean, I've shared this before, but something that Dr. Jordan Peterson had observed regarding the work from Carl Jung, and I have been a fan of the work from Dr. Jordan Peterson. I think the world would benefit if he and I had a conversation as well. But he brought up something about the work from Carl Jung that when you start getting into it, it'll reorganize and restructure uh, the thoughts, the patterns within your mind. And I experience this. You can feel it. And actually, I think I've witnessed it in a few different conversations. You can feel when your mind is assimilating different ideas, right? Where you've got one built belief, this is the way things are, this is what this means. And then you get all this other evidence that's contrary. Maybe it's you've got all this fixed belief that this Jack, he's a deceiver, he's a liar, you can't trust him. He's this, he's that. Maybe you got this bad opinion of Jack, but if you stop and you listen and you relax and you open to your idea to different perspectives with love, well, the mind will have to assimilate the opposite. And you can see, I felt it. I felt my mind processing different ideas, restructuring, reorganizing what was within my mind. And you can see it. People's eyes will go like that. But one who will be going through that process of assimilation of knowledge, and I expect will be finding a different opinion of me. Welcome.
Whoa, are you the Borg now? You're gonna assimilate me? Like we're going Star Trek here? You're the Borg?
No, the I couldn't here. Maybe I should pull up.
By the way, Jack, I got it. Can you hear me, dude?
Yeah.
I got to give you props. You got balls because you at least, whether you agree with people or not, you're gonna talk at people like Wizard, the coward there, like Mr. OTW is pointing out. No balls. But you, Jack, you backstage like at least chat, you'll confront until you get to that point. Just want to point out. Go ahead now. How are you going to assimilate me?
Here, your audio was coming through real, not very well. I heard that you were offering me some credit, and I appreciate that. I'm not sure what exactly it was. So assimilation, the process of taking in and fully understanding information or ideas, the absorption and digestion.
Whose information and whose idea?
Whose
information and whose idea?
Whatever is revealed through life, we must accept and assimilate all new experiences, all new information. This is what I've learned and I've observed. This is how the society has been conditioned. People are fixated in their ego that they think they know because they found patterns of the past, but then they focus on the past and they're not actually paying attention to what is being shown and shared in the present.
So why am I going to get assimilated? What about you?
Oh, I have. I explained my experiences.
So it is like the Borg. We have to become part of the hive. Like I got to be like Picard with the eyeball thing stuffed in my socket and hooked up to the fucking cube. Because the Borg took you over and assimilated you. We got to call it different than the Borg. Who's assimilating? Who's doing the assimilation?
Here, hold on. Muddy Waters. I just watched the Trump-Rogan interview, and Rogan asked Trump if he'd heard of you. Trump said he's looking forward to me calling him to discuss ending all wars. I'm telling you, Trump would be grateful to learn what Paul, Unslaved, and I would have to share.
Wait, so now you're comparing yourself to Paul Enslaved. You and Paul are very opposite.
In many ways, we are.
You and Paul, I just got into it with him, but I got to give credit where credit's due. You're nothing on his level. You're on a different level of guru fuckness. He has his own guru fuckness, but his still has a little more bite than you.
That's the key. he needs to learn not to bite at
No, when
good
I say
people.
buy, I mean he actually has certain optics that are valuable. Well, I grit my teeth saying this, but I got it. I got to be honest. Valuable to the people when the times come in here in the future. He's not delusional, thinking you could stop all wars and end legal secrets. He understands realism. Like, is that a concept you don't get? Realism.
I think that's actually what you're lacking.
Okay, so and we're talking. I'm not fighting with you here, Jack. We're talking.
No, I
I'm in the
appreciate
comments.
that. And I see
I
it and I
had
appreciate
a little
it.
chit chat with LTW and Paul, and I feel that the alignment they offered, because Flow State is a pedophile linked piece of shit, and there's optics with Flow State, but we won't go into that. But let me ask you this, Jack. What am I delusional about? Because the end all wars, you said it yourself, it's never happened in world history. Never happened in world history. And I'm just being realist.
Let
Like,
me
not
just real
go ahead.
briefly. I wanted
No,
to.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm trying to be, me. I'm working here.
I know. I see it. And this is why I wanted to interrupt. I've got Wizard in the back, and I don't want you starting a fight with Wizard.
No, the only thing I gotta say to Wizard is he should face those who fucking he talks shit about.
Well,
I mean, whether I agree with Wizard or not, because there may be things I agree with him on certain aspects, or the others I agree on the aspects. But instead of being a coward, I feel he should
all right. Thank
confront
you.
that shit.
Okay, first point then. I used to talk a lot of shit about Jack. I don't talk shit about Jack anymore. I don't talk shit about most anybody. So that nixes your point. I'm not the one out talking shit. And then you made a comment earlier about people trying to compare themselves to Paul. You seem to be flipping the script as well. Paul is the one out there trying to force everybody else to comparing themselves to him because it's all about him and what he's done. And you ain't done shit
with him about that. I just, if you go watch the footage, I just got in an argument with that.
Okay.
What the fuck?
Okay. And so it's Paul projecting that everybody else should be programming themselves after him and his model. Again, it's not about me. It's not about my life, not about my family, not about what I'm doing other than guiding people to God as I am being guided to God myself. I can
but
only
you don't
do.
feel you should go talk to Paul for OTW.
I can
You don't
only
feel
do.
you should just go talk to him.
I can only do what the message tells me to do. I don't care where it comes from, but the message has to be truthful. And when it comes to confronting Paul about it, again, it goes to the same concept. Everybody wants to compare themselves to Paul. Go to Paul, go to Paul, go to Paul. No, Paul, bitch, come to my panel. Come up on my panel. That way when you want to start running your mouth, I can duck you out.
Hey, Wizard, that's fair because that's not you trying to hide.
Exactly. I've been on my panel all the time. It's been open. Any one of you motherfuckers can come up.
I'm blocked. I'm blocked from your panel.
Snafu, you've even come up and I blocked you because of that. You change
I'm blocked
your ways.
on your panel.
You change your ways and do righteous things. I have no problem with you.
I've never not been doing righteous. Look, Flow State's a pedophile.
Listen. You go around telling you're a Christian.
You know what
If you're a Christian and you go around bearing false witness, you are committing one. When you go around telling people that somebody's doing something that they're not. I never told you to go to the bank.
Tell me what I said.
I never told you to go to the bank and tell the banker that you were a bank.
I honestly tried to buy some shit with stamps because I thought you were real about the stamps. And yes, I made a bit, but you're still mad that I went to the bank.
Problem.
The wizard stamp.
Problem. You're lying.
The wizard stamp.
Here, let me jump in here, please. Snafu.
Please, but if I may.
Here. Hold on. Snafu, I've been patient. Okay?
Eyebrow furrowed.
Well, chill out, because you asked for an example where you had bared a false witness. He gave you an example where you went and did something and claimed it was he who told you. Wizard told
I would have
me
never thought to go to the post office making a stamp if it wasn't for Wizard. I did what he told everyone we could do.
I did.
I put
I
it to the
said
test.
you. Yes,
Listen
you
to
can,
him.
and I got firsthand evidence that you can, and it will show through
So
the postal
I went
service
and
that
tried
they
it, and
agree.
it didn't work out for me.
You-
and
Again, you didn't follow the process. Again, you didn't
you what.
follow the process, and you
Hey,
never
Keith.
inquired me with the process.
How about this? A more, in my opinion, a more important false witness example is Snafu running around calling me a rapist.
Yes, Margot.
I would disagree because I feel
I
that
know,
you're hiding.
Snafu.
I feel that the reason. Okay, I'll speak when I can
Okay, Snafu, I want to make one point, and I'm going to make it again,
because
and I'm
I
never going to
stand
stop on
by
this.
what I say when I say that, Jack.
If
And I
this
feel
woman-
you keep saying let's
When
not
I
bring
get-
the past up because you're afraid of your past.
I'd really like to speak at some point.
if this woman really was raped by Jack and claims that child is from Jack, the one element that anybody that thinks he is guilty would go for is the paternity to prove it. Otherwise, you're all doing nothing but blasphemy, conjecturing, and spreading false information. That's bullshit.
Wrong, Wizard. Wrong,
Okay,
Wizard. Here's the deal.
Snafu. Remember when
I'll say my
you
piece when I can.
started?
Go ahead.
Snafu, when you started joining the topic, the word was assimilation. And what I was discussing, pointing out, is that eventually people's minds will change. The egoic mind, what Snafu is doing is he found an idea and then he seeks to prove it right. Well, this world is filled with liars. And Snafu, you haven't demonstrated what you did to prove that to prove my side. You haven't done anything.
Okay, you know
prove
what? How
that
about
you're-
this? I will bring Chemo on, and I'll let you. I will go ahead. I shouldn't. We'll let you guys have an interaction.
Well, consider what you've already done. I'm telling you.
Right, because I stand by
tell you
what
what.
I've done. You're
Tell
hiding
you
from
what.
your past,
No,
and if I
Snafu.
may explain, Wizard.
Snafu, you're not going to deflect. It is of your...
Why are you hiding what I was going to say?
Snafu, we are talking about you. Your behavior. You have repeatedly been a false witness to many people. I am an honest man. And
So the honest man had a maybe baby, not maybe baby. The story kept changing right before the Chemo
Snafu,
interview.
you've been saying out of pocket shit smear campaigns for fucking years, man. You just say whatever you want.
And he knows these are rapists.
Actually, Snafu, you have no credibility. You have no credibility whatsoever. Many, many people know it. But you're an example. You're an example of fools who want to oppose me, to disrespect me. And Snafu, you're not worthy of disrespecting a man like me. My life was considerably different than yours, and if you stand us next to each other with a real history of who
Let's
we
go
are,
one by one. I'll say something I've accomplished.
no.
Man, I was just about to type in the back chat, leave me down if he's up there, but you're already on it, Jack. Right on, fist bump.
Well, it was perfect timing. He'd worn out his welcome. But hey, we've got another version. Welcome, Paul.
When's your next panel? Nobody will be watching, Wizard.
Anytime you want, brother.
Anytime I want, brother. Here goes the fake version of Wizard, because now I'm in your face, right? There's the bitch ass, fake ass motherfucker. With all
Yeah,
the
you're
shit
in
you were
my
just
face.
talking.
You're not real.
Oh,
Yeah, you're in this.
So where's your next bitch ass panel so I could show up in your house to check your bitch ass on the truth because you're running and hiding from where you
Somebody's
showed
gotta
up to
check your
grift for
bitch
3
ass,
years.
Paul.
You didn't have a
Fucking
problem
fat
showing
fucking
up.
loser.
We can do it tonight, bitch.
I put him in the back because he asked a question and clearly didn't want an answer. So, I was actually hoping to have a conversation with Paul myself.
He's had a rough day.
Well, it sounds like it. He's been so, oh my God, he's just such a victim. But thank God the world sent us Paul. He's the only man who knows anything and knows anything that anything's going on. Just ask him. And delusional. Not you. Welcome, Scott. Maybe you.
Hey,
Hopefully
maybe
not.
me. I'm delusional. What the fuck? Don't get it wrong, man. I'm about as fucking wrecked as the rest of you. This boat is still floating, luckily, but we got a hole in the boat.
Amen. You're as wrecked as the rest of us. See, that's what a lot of people don't understand. We are damaged. We are fucking injured. Ain't none of us perfect. Paula, you ain't nothing but a bitch like the
Jack's
rest
like,
of us.
hold on a second.
You're just
Get in
afraid
there,
to
Jack. Don't let him
admit
say that shit about you.
Jack's like,
You're
not
just-
me.
You're just afraid to admit it. It comes a point in a man's life, though, that he does have to admit it. And that's what most people are afraid of. Like I said earlier with Snafu and the little lies. That's what people are afraid of, is having to get rid of the little lies.
Yes, well, acceptance. We just got to learn how to start chilling out so we can accept what's going on. I want to invite you guys to help me. I think what might help Paul and maybe other arrogant people is to find out who they actually admire.
And my apologies for getting loud there. Let me calm down.
Yeah, please do, because I caught myself doing that too. I appreciate that.
5-speed, I'm glad you're here. Do I owe you a thank you? I think I owe you a thank you.
No, I figured I started off the morning. Hell, I might as well in the evening hanging out on a panel with you.
Well, somebody with a frog sent me a Cash App at the end of the day.
Oh yeah, no.
All right. Well, I appreciate you. I didn't realize
No worries.
it was over.
No worries.
That was Resto, I think.
Definitely could have been Resto, but he's out of the country.
Do you guys really think Paul can change and be this like thorough, solid, genuine person? No. Why do you keep trying?
I know he can.
Let me ask you guys something. If you know somebody that has it put together and they've been traveling with their own private plates for 10 years and have no issues, and they have a site that shows you how to do it, and you're a guy like Paulie, but you want to do it your way, and that is to have somebody else with a license and plates and everything under the state travel you around. You lazy fuck, calling me lazy, trying to tell people you walk and no walk. You ain't nothing but a fucking BSer.
Hey,
he called me spoiled. The guy doesn't even work. He just sits in his fucking house. He's fat as shit. Like, I actually work, do construction. I'm active every day. I walk miles, skate miles. I'm fit. And Paul, it's crazy, man. He's just a politician.
Can we stop the Paul bitch session? He's not even here.
Why are you getting crazy here?
Look at your behaviors.
What about my behavior?
Yeah, misplaced priorities. It's Jack Panel.
But why is he getting so bent out of shape?
Jack, you got to realize Paul triggers this a lot.
Paul does this.
It's a beautiful day outside, isn't it, Jack?
And actually, no, I can't. My apologies, Paul. That's on me. It's me that does this. It's me that gets upset. I'm not supposed to let you get me upset. My apologies.
I plain don't give a fuck about the guy.
He left. He left as soon as he yelled at Wizard and then saw he wasn't going to be.
What's that Roy Rogers tune? Happy trails to you until we meet again.
Thanks, Scott. Thank you.
You're
I find it fascinating what people are willing to say, what they reveal from themselves.
What do you mean?
I'm assuming I remember What Life is one of the culted ones. The fact that these people have no regard for what is and is not true, it really
Is What Life culted? I think he might be equal opportunity. Rocky, you look clean or something.
Look at that clean, sharp cut.
Welcome, brother. You do look well.
Look retarded.
Yeah, a lot like JG. Pop your head up there, JG. Show him. Father and son right there, baby.
My daughter gave me a
Shut up,
facial.
you beta cuck whiz.
You pick your wording better, probably.
My daughter gave me a haircut and waxed my nose, my ears.
Your daughter waxed your nose? Yeah.
My daughter's works at a barber shop. Gave me a hot towel shave. Do I look cleaner?
Yeah, but also retarded, like JG
You
said.
look like a sharp 58-year-old.
Trimmed my mustache and my beard.
All right. Well, that's enough prancing around there. Look at Jack. Jack is disgusted with your fucking grooming.
Well, I'm just wondering, I guess I opened up another.
Hey,
what?
Hey, Jack.
What are we doing?
My daughter can give you a haircut and a trim and everything. You should go check her out. She's in Spokane. I forget the name. Shit. Anyway, you should check her out. She'll give you a good look, man. You kind of got that old Moses look going right now.
Yeah.
Jack, he's offering you to get the high and tight haircut there. What do you think about that?
That's actually the way I kind of prefer my hair. But beauty and aesthetics have not been in my list of priorities for a while. So, at least not for myself. Got other things that deserve my resources, time, and attention, I feel. But
it's only 2 hours. 2 hours every month, maybe. Get a facial.
No, that's beautiful. Plus, it's family, you said, so that's amazing.
Plus, it's sexy.
Yeah, you could get like maybe a Corona Reeves haircut. You don't have to get it. She also does hairstyling and so just maybe
I want to go.
Maybe you'd like it. Spend a few bucks, it's not that bad. Shit. Haircuts are like $20 now. I remember when they're like $3.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck. Goddamn inflation. They're stealing.
So what are you up to today, Jack? What's your
Thank you, Scott. The topic today is
priorities.
Misplaced priorities. And what I'm experiencing here is that no, it's not just here. People don't put the present as a priority. It's the way the egos have been conditioned. That way we're distracted by memories and gossip. But truly, the future is ours to create. And once I started considering that idea, I started wondering, what type of future do I want to try and create? Because
when you say we have it on our
go ahead.
You can create the future in a micro or macro sense. I mean, because, you know, I like this sense of being able to create your own future in a micro sense, but when I start thinking macro, it's a whole nother ballgame.
I've started viewing my life less as the body and, you know, the tasks, more as an experience. It's just energies, different states of energies being experienced at different times. So there's so many ways to describe what I've come to realize regarding life. But the truth is, it's objective and it's obvious. The past is done. What we do today, what we learn today, what we experience today is going to affect the future. Considering the micro and the macro, and considering that it's just experiences, what do I want my body to experience in the future? What do I want me to experience in the future?
God damn it.
And really, when you break down most of our goals, if I'm sure everyone's just like me in this regard, most of the things, our goals, it's not as much for ourselves as it is those who we care for, our family, our friends, our loved ones, you know, those who are really special in our hearts. Well, if we think beyond just that, then we're more aligned with God's perspective, in my mind. And so, admittedly, in my past, everything I did, I used the excuse of my family or something else for why I was doing what I was doing. And I didn't realize it, but through the conditioning and what I had been raised with, the unhealed trauma in my life, I thought I had plans, right? And I got so fixed on my plans. But I was actually living a very chaotic lifestyle, moment to moment, doing things and not actually thinking things through. I think that's how the billionaires figured out that's what you do with the slaves. Keep them confused. They'll do the work. They'll do what they're told. They won't have time to think when they're always afraid or lacking. So what if it is us? What if we are the generation? What if we've learned enough from the past? Because really, the future, I spend time thinking about the future, and the future I envision is where wars have ended, debts have been forgiven, there's reforms and changes in everything from the way we administer and utilize our governments, our schools, our corporations. We can change the way things are used. And in the future, it may sound unbelievable, but it's, yes, in the direction of utopia. Because what if we are God's children, and then when this day comes, right? So it's said, we won't know the day or the hour, but it was foretold there would be a day. And when that day comes, there will be a new order for us to live. So what if it is us, here to break the patterns of the past, to actually make peace on earth a real thing, where anyone could travel anywhere with whoever they wanted, anywhere in the world, because they know anywhere they go, there would be people there who care for them and who will help make sure they're safe and enjoy life. And if we change the value system collectively around the world, instead of pursuing profits, and fighting over resources if we combined efforts and ideas together like humane people honestly would, we could spend the future helping everyone live the perfect life for themselves.
Hey, Jack, question, and serious. If we all agree there's a problem, like with life, with the government, with with our relationships here on YouTube, does that in and of itself, just identifying problems, does that relate to the cure? It does help to identify problems, but it really just singling out or pointing out problems doesn't put you on the forefront of solving anything. And now let's just look at just a couple different people on the panel and say, well, we got different ideas going on here. If we do all agree there's a problem, isn't it going to be almost inherently different and maybe almost impossible to agree on what a cure might become of, what a cure might be or look like?
Off his head.
Well, that's kind of like what I was saying about the plates. If you're going to travel around and push this travel issue with private plates, I know people that have been doing it for a decade. It works. You just have to have the knowledge and the foundation to support that knowledge with the proper documentation, which is private credentials, not identifications and driver's license.
It's your own shit, fella, not theirs. They own theirs and they control theirs.
Yeah. Well, regarding problems, something I've learned, I don't think I even read the book, but there was a book title along the lines of there's solutions in every problems. And this is actually what the biblical scripture is pointing to. If we have faith that there are solutions, we'll find the answers. If we've put faith in the problem, that the problem's out of our hands, well, we'll live with the problem. And with any problem, like the government, where I found myself as I looked at the state of the world, I didn't like the state of the world. So I found a problem. And so looking into the problem, well, the problem is the solution. Just as
Wait, what? Wait, what?
in the problem is the solution. The idea of cause and effect. There's no separating the two from one another. So in the problems of the world with war and poverty, it's human selfishness. It's human, it's inhumane. It's logical and it makes sense. The money system, the wars, it all makes sense if you don't actually think the thoughts through. I've had the time and had other people explaining me to videos and stuff, explaining what it was I was seeing. So seeing the problem is the structures of economics and politics, because those protect and drive the corporation system, which is taken over everything. If we see the problem as far away, we'll feel helpless. So my past experience being a public servant, right, at the Postal Service, I have a feeling and a part of how government works. So if I see myself as a part of the problem, hey, that means I'm part of the solution. That's what I'm trying to share with us. If we can accept responsibility for the fact this corruption and oppression, we don't have to accept it. If we believe we can change it, the next step is how do we want to do it? And that's what I've been thinking of for my own self. This is my personal testimony, and I trust this is God's purpose for everything that I've been experiencing. It was the truth that transformed me. God is the truth. The way to know the truth is through love. The way to know love is through humility. Because if you think you've earned love, you're overlooking the grace. I overlooked love. I thought I earned the right to be loved. Turned out I was wrong. But, brothers and sisters, sincerely, if we can, we don't even have to love each other. It feels better if we find ways to love each other. And it doesn't have to be sexually or physically, but we don't even have to like each other. But if we can find a way to unite together with the ideas that it is time for the people who are serving in office, whatever level of government, especially at the federal level of government, whether it's America, Canada, or wherever. It's time for the people to take ownership of our freedom. And the best way to be free is to have community, to know that you're not alone. Know that you don't have to do everything on your own. And this is where my spiritual path, man, this is where I'm telling you guys, plant the idea in yourself. I encourage you, make God a priority in your life. And if you know God is love, it makes sense. So make love a priority in your life. But then you got to figure out what is love. Well, love is honest. That's for sure.
Love is thinking. It's not an emotion.
It's a power. It's an energy. It's a force. It's an expression. Because love it's beyond words. And that's why I'm sure that, what's that?
It requires thinking. You have to think.
I disagree.
I mean, some people think it's an emotion or sex or something. But
Rocky,
I think it's a, yeah.
If you consider this, though, I'm going to disagree, but here's why. I suggest that thinking, that's where love is denied.
Yeah, you think that you can either think love or think hate. But you're thinking it. You're thinking.
No, you can
it.
you can be love without thoughts. Thoughts of gratitude help you find the energy and the beingness of love. But this is where I've really been trying to find words for this, but that love is a wholeness. It brings a wholeness and a completion to us where we need nothing. We lack nothing. Love rises us above the world problems. I mean, I don't know. I'm sure others have experienced this. You know, you going through the day, just the mundane chore of life, and then someone just attracts you, and all of a sudden you're feeling these feelings of love and wonder and curiosity, and now all of a sudden everything's different. Or you get a call out of the blue from someone you love, and they're reaching out just to remind you. Love transforms. Which is funny. Actually, that ties it back to where I was going earlier. We were.
You know, there's different types of love. There's personal love for like your wife and your family, and then there's impersonal love for everybody. And then there's the love of money. That's a bad love, and there's good
Those
love.
are the worldly. Those are the worldly ways of love. The true ways of love are like Jesus said, "Who is my mother? Who is my brother? There are none with me unless they are with me, for me."
For God so loved the world, he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him shall not perish. That's an impersonal love. He loved all mankind with the impersonal love. But then when you become one of his children because you trusted in him, then he has a personal love for you because now you're a part of his family. So there's different
rewards.
types of love. That's what I mean by you gotta think. You gotta think.
No, please, Rocky, please consider what I'm saying, especially based on our past conversations. I want you to consider that love may have been complicated in our past, or love may have been complicated by what the world had showed us. But the love of God, I mean, you've held your daughter, you know that love, that special, powerful love of that bond.
That's a personal love, yeah.
I trust God's love is even deeper than that. And that's what I've heard from people who come back with these near-death experiences, other people who've claimed to have spiritual experiences with Jesus or God. It's just been this love that's all-consuming and beyond just the identification of the one. So we do want to grow. And actually, I know that love of the Father and Son. When I saw my family being broken, and the first time it happened, when the marriage fell apart, I allowed myself to break because it hurt. And then when when the nail was put in the coffin for me to communicate with our son, dude, I had to learn how to love again, or what to love again, because I pretty much lost all the things I used to love, but I found God.
There's reciprocating love. There's reciprocating love. We love God because he first loved us. We're reciprocating. So if you're trying to give your son love and he doesn't reciprocate, then he's not reciprocating. It doesn't mean you can't still love him.
Oh, I do. But for whatever reason, it blows my mind, to be honest, after all these years, he's never found a reason for us to talk. It's like, holy shit. But hey, this is the life I'm living. This is what I mean. God has placed me on this life. It's been amazing. It's been bizarre. It's found me to a place where I am devoted, not to my son, not to the employer, not to the bosses, anyone. I'm devoted to God. And I think it happened for me so that I could be an honest testimony for others to realize the importance, the priority of God in their lives, in their mind, in their heart. Here's an idea in that direction. To truly improve the way you feel, receive all that happens to you, all that happens with you, receive it all as good, knowing that nothing happens without God. God is the good. God is that which offers life, sustains life. God is, it's everything to me. Which again, I think this is part of the reason I'm living this life. Nobody has really looked into it because there's a lot of people that want me to be wrong for some reason, but my life has many similarities to a variety of different stories from the Bible. I found my faith in God when I became detached from the world.
What's similar as to what stories in the Bible?
Most visibly, the story of Job, without the actual death and real sufferable pains. But going into this loss of everything, I actually didn't have faith. And so I've been facing the friends who want to blame me for the results and everything that's happened. And I'm like, well, okay. That's
What
one.
friends
Now,
are what friends are blaming you for the results of stuff?
people
Everything that's
online and
happening. I
off.
think
People online and off, those who want to diminish me and my character, they blame me for what others have done. I didn't ask for my son and family and others to give me no more chances. I don't even understand why they've done that. That's what I've been saying. But here, in regard to the biblical stories too, I
well,
mentioned
besides Job,
well, the Apostle Paul was an inspiration for me as well, because here's my real life testimony. I committed myself to God. I didn't realize this is what's going on at the time, and that's why I've yelled at people. But I committed myself to God, and all my worldly commitments were gone. I was no longer a father. I was no longer a friend or a union guy or an employee. I was no longer anything. Okay, so when I turned myself to God and devoted myself to it, I was then misrepresented. I was misunderstood, wrongfully accused, misrepresented. I was interrogated. I was punished. I was terminated as an innocent man. So there's that similarity, but then following the idea of the Apostle Paul, where he had been wrongfully accused, he wanted to exercise his rights and appeal to Caesar. Well, that's what I want to do as a postal employee. I'd love to appeal to Caesar of the United States Postal Service, Louis DeJoy, because he was also appointed by Donald Trump. So they've got a connection there beyond that just thing. And so I'm confident that if God allows me to appeal to Caesar in this crazy story, I can talk to Louis DeJoy and from there get in front of Congress and from there get in front of the UN. And the goal is to live my life as Jack. My goal and prayer, my purpose, should God allow it to happen, is for wars to end and for the world to start moving towards immediate reforms.
have you written out an appeal?
To whom?
The guy that Trump appointed. You said your hope was to get an appeal to him. To appeal to him is exactly what you said, I thought.
Well, to have a conversation with him.
Okay.
Regarding the injustice and the wrongful claims done by his subordinates here in Spokane. I guess kind of be a Karen. I want to speak to the boss's boss is what it is. But
Have
there's
you written a letter?
Scott.
So you think
Fuck
you
him
want
up,
to get a
Jack.
hold of the president, stop wars? You think the president of the United States can do that? You think he's got the power over the whole world?
These guys suck, Jack.
I'm seeing that. Thank you, Flo.
I don't suck, man. I'm just trying to figure out. I mean, because I like have a typewriter.
Scott, what you're doing is you're thinking of thoughts, and it's not really to understand what I'm saying. It's to second guess. You know, Jack, what can you have done? So to answer your question, yes, Scott, I wrote letters. Let's remember, I've been dealing with this since 2018. I've sent letters, I've sent emails, I've done phone calls, I've tried in-person visits, I've hired people, I've tried pursuing a lot of things. So, and it's not just the Postal Service. There's something going on in my life. The only explanation I can offer is God, but that applies to all of us. I don't know why everything that's been happening with me has. But I actually imagine my son will be pretty excited and happy once he gets his sober father back in his life. But you know what? At this point, where I sit, my priority is God. My faith is in God. I walk with, in my mind, I'm constantly thinking of God, grateful to God. I am following the way. And I tell you what, the way I feel, this life we're living, it can be a physical battle or perhaps a spiritual playground. I'm inclined to believe in the spiritual playground point. Now, welcome, brother. Good to see you.
Hey, hello to all of you. Again, like always, Jack, I'm just constantly on the grind here and listening in the background. And you talking about your son. I don't know the full story with you and your son, but my father and we used to not get along very well, and we didn't talk for a long period of time. I'm not exactly sure how old your son is, but when I was in my early 20s, my dad, he showed up where I was, and he just broke down crying, and he said he was sorry for everything. And I'd never seen him act like that. I'd never seen him vulnerable before. And in the time, I just said, "It's okay, Dad. I forgive you." We hadn't talked in forever. And, from there, we started to talk every other week. And anyway, it's almost 20 years later now, and we're neighbors, and we get along just fine. So anyway, I just stopped on, and Jack, I don't know what you're doing for your own son, but you work very hard at your YouTube channel each day. If you want to repair your relationship with your son, I'm not sure if you're working as hard at trying to do that. And I don't know if you've been totally vulnerable with your son, but it might be effective. When I saw my dad break down crying, I'd never seen that side of him before, and I realized that. And I honestly, it's not like I was ever really mad at my dad. It's just I came from a really dysfunctional household. And I was kind of like not having really much of a relationship with my parents after I left the home at age 18. But I was going to say, maybe be vulnerable with your son and tell him you really miss him and you do want to make up for the past. So
I'd love to get him a message.
I'm sure you can do
how
it.
to reach him.
I'm sure you can do it.
I don't know where he is. My phone numbers are blocked. I've been bastardized for asking people to try calling him, but that is what I've been trying to do, is find people who might be willing to make a couple of calls for me. This life is bizarre, but Zach, thank you. I actually am No, that's not true. My focus is on ending wars. It's not on my son.
Well, but at the same time, I'm sure you would like to repair your relationship with your son. So.
Oh, I pray for an opportunity. I really do. And
I'm sure it'll come, Jack.
Your story helped remind me of that. I trust there's happy endings, happy continuations that will happen.
It'll be time for that when the last bullet flies.
Your way. All right. Carry on, all. You guys have a good day.
Blessings. Thank you, Zach. Appreciate it.
Tell him there'll be time for your son when the last bullet flies.
This is God's story. I surrender my future to God. I live in the present. I seek guidance from the Holy Spirit the best that I can understand it or discern it.
You're trying to create heaven on earth. Like, it sounds like you're trying to. Sounds like
overthrow God.
We're here for like an experience to see that the only government that's going to work on earth is the government of, like,
the kingdom of heaven.
Government of God, the kingdom of heaven. Yeah. So it's like you're trying to, like, bring. I know we can make things better. We want to make it like that, but I don't think we can eventually. We can eventually bring about total. We can work towards it. We should work towards it. But
Rocky,
you know what I'm. Okay.
I appreciate what you're saying, but that's evidence of a man who thinks love requires thoughts. Because what I'm actually trying to do, I live in heaven. There's a lot of people who want to bring me down and bring me their disrespect and bitterness and doubts, but I live with love despite the outside opinions or the little bit that I'm showing online. I live with love. I've been in heaven since 2018. God has blessed me with an experience of so many amazing things, so much pleasure, bodily pleasure, ideas with the imagination, and then emotions of just love and gratitude. So, Rocky, I'm literally, when my son returns to my life, this is a story that only God could create. Because when my son returns to my life, or when Margot wakes up, both of them would be witnesses of my transformation. My son would be a perfect witness to see where he witnessed me in my hell of addiction, and he could experience me in heaven today. So I'm trying to share heavenly feelings, Rocky. And I used to feel like I had to. But now I know that it's God's will for us to know love, to be love, to walk with love, to know God is with you, God is for you. That's why we're here. Everything I've read and everything I've heard, it supports what I'm saying. And that's why the amount of people convinced I'm wrong, convinced I got to do something else, it really blows my mind. It really does.
Like Chuck.
He's a perfect
like
example.
Chuck, yeah, Chuck, man. He just keeps asking that damn question.
What question?
Can't believe he won't stop asking that damn question.
Flo, you really need a bigger joint for that flame.
Oh,
Right.
no. None of that. None of those devil's lettuce.
Eventually he'll stop asking the question.
Who's Chuck all about?
Chuck is just a naysayer, always biting at Jack's ankles while he's trying to do good things.
Hey,
does.
I'm not putting you down, Jack. You can try it. I mean, you can. I mean, all power to you if you can bring heaven on earth before Christ gets, whatever. And I'm
Before
all
Christ
for it.
does it,
You know
what?
what I mean?
Okay, this is
I mean,
fascinating.
if you think this is heaven,
So,
if you think you're in
okay,
heaven right now, cool, you're in heaven, whatever.
hey, Rocky.
But I'm not in heaven right now.
I
It's not
know
the
you're
way
not. I know you're stuck in your thought patterns and beliefs.
Oh, because you have a sucky soul.
Here's what I know. I don't really need your congratulations or approval to do the life that God has me living. But eventually people around me, or I will find the audience and the gathering of people who actually join with me. Do you want to try and better understand why Jack says he experiences heaven now? Or do you want to understand why Jack says, hey, let's work together and try to end wars? And actually, with what you said, Rocky, the biblical prophecy, I don't deny what is written. I'm saying it is, take it for truth, but don't overestimate your own interpretation. The realization of God is happening. It's not going to I don't see it requiring everyone to go to line up and go to church and follow the traditions of everyone. It's happening. God is allowing mankind to awaken. And so why have Christians, and I'm late to the party, right? I admit I didn't even start thinking about God until 2018, but I did end up at the Bible and following the way of Jesus. So why haven't Christians united yet to create a world that's worthy of the return of our Savior, the Messiah? I mean, he already died once. Why do Christians believe that we got to wait for him to return to clean up the messes that we've been paying for? Because anyone paying taxes today is paying for the genocide of innocent people.
Yeah, I agree with you, Jack. I don't think he said we have to wait for his second coming.
Thank you. I believe it is us. It is us, yeah. Rocky.
Right. It's us. We're the body. We're the body. We do his work. And it's us. It's the power in the Christian or the believer in God through his body. The church says his body. We are his body. We are the temple. So the power is in us, but we've lost who we are. We don't realize that Christ reigns through us. And he's still on the throne. He's in charge. He doesn't physically come down. We're not waiting for him to come down. He's already, the kingdom is among you, right? It lives in us, like you and me. And we've lost that power. It's been hidden from us because we're being deceived by all the nations are deceived and they worship Satan and they go to
every one of us is conscripted as an angel. We're not supposed to be doing these things. That's our free will choice.
Thank you. It is only us by our free will. We are the only ones who can corrupt ourselves. We are the only ones who can deny love from being shared, from being lived. We are the only ones who can pay attention to what we're doing. I muted you, Scott.
I'm not like he hasn't been annoying with that shit all day long, Scott.
I know.
You want me to kill the dogs? What's your fucking problem?
Yes.
You dog-hating sons of bitches.
Yes. Put your money where your mouth is. Do it.
They're attack dogs, and they're coming for you.
Pay attention to what you're sharing. Your mic has been interrupting on several times. It's like you don't care.
I'm shutting it off when the German Shepherd's here again and he's walking away. When I shut it off, it's because I know he's going to bark. But so you didn't hear him bark 3 times. You just heard the growls. Sorry. It's
This
Rocky's
isn't a high
fault, for Christ's sake.
expectation for you. Like this is a pretty low threshold for expectations to just
Says the man.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
This
Thank
is
you,
like
Flo.
grade school shit.
Thank you, Flo. I'm sorry, Jack. I won't let it happen again.
I was
Till next time.
curious.
Or else you're gonna kill the dog.
What's the dog growling at? I was just curious.
There's 4 dogs that the
Didn't like
German
it.
Shepherd was getting in
Didn't
the
like it.
face of the little peekapoo and the Russian toy. So the little dogs had the big dog in their face.
I thought maybe he didn't like what was being said on panel or something, growling at Jack or somebody.
Well, he did hear Flo State's voice.
Oh, shit.
Shut him right up, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. No, a little bit. The little pansy ass dog he is.
Yeah, I agree with Jack. I think maybe we've been lied to. Maybe something happened and not too long ago, a couple, 200-300 years ago, that something happened and they're hiding it from us.
There's a lot of stuff I think they're hiding from us, to be honest with you. I mean, I don't doubt a lot more than we even assume.
All right. So why are we allowing it?
You're assuming that we're allowing it.
Well, Scott, yes. Those who are aware of problems and do nothing to resolve the problems or to change the situation are allowing it to continue. I'm suggesting to you we have solutions available.
Jesus Christ, Jack, that's what I'm questioning is knowing there's a problem doesn't mean there's a solution. What is the solution? If you know that.
Scott, I've explained it so many times. How have you not accepted that the truth shall set us free? When secrets are no longer legal, freedom will no longer be an illusion.
Tell me without being upset or getting fucking in your feelings, what that looks like ubiquitously.
I don't need to do that. Why don't you?
Of course not.
And we don't know what that
movie. They made a movie about no more.
Why don't
secrets.
you guys pause for a moment, please?
Okay.
There's someone I'd like to see. Why are you here, Margot?
Well, I'm wondering what you're blaming on me now. I just got a text message that you said my name again.
Nobody texted you. You were watching us. Welcome to the panel now that you can join us.
Who are you? Who are you?
Who knows?
I'm Margot.
And it wasn't Jack, it was me, and I was comparing you to Snafu and your little white lies going around bearing false witness on people. Does that help explain it?
Are you that Sovereign Unchained guy?
Yes, he is. That's him.
Oh, okay, yeah, Sovereign Unchained Soul or something. Like a channel name. It's a channel name.
Yeah, the guy right in the center. Yes, that's him. That's Dave.
Him.
Oh,
okay. It's Dave.
Try to find.
He looks like him. Sorry.
So you want to stick around, Margot?
Hi, Dave.
Margot, your questions, were they answered to your satisfaction?
Well, no, I heard that you said something like I had to wake up. I was wondering what you'd like me to wake up to.
Reality.
I would like to wake up to Flo. Thank you, Flo, for answering that.
I got you.
All respect
the
to your
best part of waking up is Flow State in your cup.
I answered that I would like to see you wake up to what is real.
And will you please define that for me?
That's up to you to figure out. So far, you've been pretty convinced, and I
haven't even been around for like 6 weeks.
And you were brought up today because you have a habit. You were compared to someone else who has a habit of being a false witness.
So you're blaming others for your current condition. Is that what you're telling me?
That's your
narrative. No, I was pointing out that I'm tired of people that want to live their lives based on little white lies about everybody else and not concentrate on their own fucking lives and their own big lies.
Oh, because we're on the internet and you're so honest and everyone is honest on the internet.
Absolutely.
Hey, Margot, not everyone's as big of a liar as
Point
you.
made. Point made. You said it yourself.
Is there any other way?
Everybody else on the internet is so
I've
damn
asked
truthful,
Jack
yet we're
to
supposed
point
to
out
believe
one
you are.
lie I've ever
How
said for
fucking
years.
great.
He cannot.
Margot,
He cannot point to one lie.
Margot,
Point to
accept
one lie, Jack.
response.
One lie.
Margot.
Let's hear one lie
Hey,
that
Margot, if you shut your mouth, you'll learn. Okay?
not from you.
So,
Shut that fucking pie hole.
Scott, would you shut up? So, Margot, what you are saying creates the reality that you are living. Okay. And what
That
I'm
was a
pointing
major
at
circle.
is you've already said you will not accept anything from me.
What lie have I said, Jack? Give me one lie that I've said.
I've answered this many times.
No, you have not. No, you
There's
have
a
not.
lie. There is a lie.
Then please repeat yourself so everyone can hear you announce one lie that I've ever said about you.
Oh man.
Margot.
Yes,
what you
I'm
are
waiting.
Right. You're waiting for you to be honest. That's what I'm waiting for. So, Margot, when you become honest and you actually care about what is true, you'll be able to answer for yourself the things you might have said wrong, Margot. But I stand by my words. Margot and Snafu are not trustworthy characters. They lack discernment. They believe in liars, and they accuse everyone of lying. So, Margot, I'm done talking about you. So, enjoy the rest of your day.
See you later, Margot.
Ciao, un beijo.
So have you guys had any productive topics today?
Well, I would like to discuss the present situation, Margot and Jack, and people accusing each other on the internet and pretending they have nothing to hide. I mean, we all have sinned and come short of the glory of God. And I can come up here and confess my sins to everybody, which would be stupid. And I have once in a while done that, and I regret it. But going around accusing everybody of something they did in the past without forgiveness, you're supposed to forgive, like Jesus said, forgive. Okay, you forgive, but there's consequences to people's choices. So you might have to live with some of them if you've done something, but you're going to live with your choices. But you don't go around accusing people maliciously to try to hurt people. That's called malice, and that's not condoned in the scriptures. So people that profess to be Christians going around maligning accusations and assumptions without receipts and proof, that is called malice. It's hatred towards people, trying to hurt people, and it's not Christian-like.
Yes.
Now, if you really do know someone, you've eyewitnessed a pedo, of course, that's eyewitness. You don't take accusations unless you were an eyewitness. And calling me a pedo and professing to be a Christian, Snafu, and anyone else out there doing that kind of shit. Okay, you know what? Fuck you, motherfucker. I'm not a fucking pedo. You never saw
me.
me.
Are you on paper for any crimes of that nature? Like, are you
No,
on paper?
I'm not on paper for none of that kind of shit.
There you go. Then nobody should be calling you a pedo then.
And when it comes to this metaverse, people, we have to understand on this metaverse, what you see of other people is only the tip of the iceberg. In other words, you're only seeing 10%. As the tip of the iceberg.
Cast the first stone. Who is without sin?
As the tip of the iceberg, even the tip of the iceberg, you're only seeing 10% of that, the front face and certain angles. of that 10%, you really only comprehend about 10% of that. So on this metaverse, you basically have a 0.1% perception of reality according to your interpretation. So you really have no foundation to interpret anything.
Now we have to deal with AI and bots. You got bots. Like,
I'd like to jump in here,
I'll get on Facebook. I confess I'm still on Facebook because that's how I use to contact my family through, because I don't have a phone. So that's the only way I can get messages. So I'm on Facebook and they can like read your mind. And so like they'll try to like in the advertisement, they'll put like sex bots over there, you know, like a woman.
Hey,
with
Rocky, are you there? Rocky.
So you got to deal with all kinds of
hello.
shit, yeah.
Are you here? You're not here.
Thanks for your TED Talk, Rocky.
I was trying to get back to the present, and Rocky, our time would be much better spent if you were trying to understand what I was saying. Please trust me in that. I wanted to come back because he made me consider a couple of things regarding forgiveness. Because in the reality, what I have is Margot. I don't have a list of everything. I have plenty of evidence, but I'm not going to sit here and play this nonsense. I have forgiven Margot for what she's done, but she's never recognized she's done anything inappropriate. What do you guys suggest?
This is when you guys are all supposed to gang up on me.
No. How about we actually conduct kind of an intervention where we care?
Margot, you just paint yourself as the victim immediately.
I know.
Yep.
Way to be the victim, Margot.
Well,
that's what manipulators do.
Absolutely.
Still
it's what the
Jack,
ego does.
Jack, why don't you tell your whole panel what I've lied about? Let's start there.
Okay, yeah. Margot, again, on the
what
day...
Have I lied about? What have I lied about, Jack?
Let him talk.
Margot, see, this is what she does. She's
not going to answer the question.
Let him answer it. Jeez, what's wrong with you, lady?
Thank you.
Margot's
I put Margot in the back. I put her in the back because I want to point this out. It's not just Margot. This is what Snafu does. This is what Paul Unslaved does. This is what the egoic mind, the manipulators, will do. They'll ask a question and then not even notice the answer. So, Margot, I've played this stupid game with you many times already. So I'm going to play again. One example of where you lied that distinctly reminds me is the day where I actually went for my mental evaluation, where I have the documents that prove I was there, but you insisted, arguing against me for days, that you had a security guard that knew I didn't leave my house and I was lying about going to the appointment. You remember that, Margot?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I still
There's an example.
Who was the security guard? Who was the security guard, Margot?
It was an employee of Gojo Protection in Spokane, Washington.
And so again, we have a second-hand hearsay, which makes it third-hand, and you have no idea what you're talking about. You're bearing false witness.
Actually,
you're bearing false witness.
Hold on, please. I don't want punishment.
Jack didn't leave his house that
day.
I have another question.
Hold on. Hold on. She's claiming I never left the house that day. I have documentation.
No, he doesn't.
Right. You refuse to look or accept anything that's different. That's why you think you've never lied.
I haven't lied.
You're a bitter...
Not about you.
Margot, you are in denial.
So who hired the security guy?
What?
Who hired this this spy, this security person? Who hired them?
He wasn't hired. Jack was watched because he was a danger to society.
Oh, okay. So just
That's
a troll.
such a
A
lie.
troll went out there and started
Margo.
watching him allegedly.
No,
What was the troll's name again?
This was after Jack was involuntarily admitted to the hospital for, I think it was a week, wasn't it, Jack?
Margo, no.
What?
Okay, so
Spokane.
after
Been over all of this
What?
before. This is
So-
nothing.
Okay,
This is
tell you
nothing
what.
that Jack hasn't talked about before.
Security solutions.
Hold on here.
Mobile.
Wasn't security solutions.
It's I'm looking it up on internet. Gojo Patrol.
do they work for free? Can you check, Rock?
No, it's a security. It's just a security agent. They're not cops. They're just security guards. They're like guards and shit. You know, like you go up and if say you have a camera and you're gonna do a First Amendment audit, sometimes these security cops think they have authority. You can't record here.
Oh yeah,
They're just security cops. They're nobodies.
Yeah, I seen
And
the one where
anybody can hire
snuck up on one.
anybody can hire someone like that and probably get whatever you want them to say. You know, it's some bullshit.
True. Yeah, there's a lot of bullshit, Margo. You don't got shit, you know?
I never said I had shit. I said I never lied.
No,
it sounds like lies, though. They're coming across as lies.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
or unbelievable, improbable, or whatever.
How about
Margo,
this?
You came in here, the first thing you said is someone text you.
Someone did text me.
Yeah, okay.
Who texted you, Margo?
I'm not going to tell you that. I'm not going to call people out.
Who cares? Okay, guys.
It wasn't hand banana. I'll tell you.
Hello.
Jack.
Tell you what.
Sorry, Jack.
Margo goes to opinions and she thinks her opinions are gold. She thinks that what she thinks is real.
What opinion are you talking about? I'm not.
Despite what evidence shows. Now, what I'm trying to get Margo to admit in any fashion or form, her behavior has been inappropriate. She's imagined and spread these false narratives about me being a danger. She's taken the fact that other people made choices that denied me my rights, that brought me into being locked up for a week at the hospital. Wasn't my choice, but I learned a lot. Now,
Who
this
was the person that forced you into that? Whose choice was
a counselor. It's a long story, dude.
Okay, I'm just curious. I was just curious about that.
Do you realize my purpose is Margo's behavior? That's what I'm discussing. She's bragged about it, using her connections in town to investigate and patrol and gossip and warn all these people in my real life. I've never done anything to this woman. She's out of her fucking mind. Will you guys please try to reason with her? Don't believe everything she says, but please.
All right, Margo, listen to me closely. If you mess with Jack Talcott again, I'm going to fucking kill you. Okay, bitch?
Aren't you in Arizona with me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Are we at? Oh shit, you're with me. Oh
I
shit.
am.
Where do I gotta go for this plan to murder?
For what? Oh, my murder?
The murder.
I'll be up there for the Seahawks game in December 9th, I think.
You know, this topic really isn't very funny.
Have you seen the Bane freaking Christian Bale Batman where they like nuke the whole stadium? Because that's how we're gonna take you out.
Is that how it's going to be done?
That's how it's gonna be done, baby.
Okay.
All
God,
right.
what should I
Unless you keep fucking with Jack.
Hold on.
What should I
please.
wear?
Yeah, this isn't a safe topic, Jack.
Hold on, please. Welcome back, Zach.
Thanks. Margo, pleasure to meet you.
Pleasure to meet you as well.
I understand that you don't like Jack because of something that happened in the past, And whatever it is, which I don't know, I'm just a listener of the program. I can tell Jack is not happy about this past because he doesn't exactly want to touch on what you're talking about. But
let me correct you. I like everyone. We're all children of God. But go on.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good. Again, I see Jack as a man who understands that he's made serious mistakes in the past and he's trying to move on and better himself. And Jack, the one thing I've asked that you do, and maybe you haven't, I just haven't heard it. I would like for you to talk more about your regrets of the past and the ways you're going about remedying those things. And I think Margot is kind of presenting the opportunity. But Margot, why do you always want to come on and try to pull Jack back into his past when it seems evident that he's trying to progress as a human being?
I haven't even been here for 6 weeks. My name came up in conversation. Someone texted me and told me that my name came up. So I came up.
Margot, I
to find
get
out why
that, but I've been
brought
listening
up.
to Jack now for a couple of months, and you've come on a number of times, and you're constantly trying to remind us that Jack was this bad person in the past. He's a dangerous person. He screwed up his own family. These are all kind of things I've heard you bring up on the show.
Wait a second, Zach. All I'm saying is Jack calls me a liar, and I'm asking what I lied about. That is my only question.
But you're denying what he's saying, Margot.
I haven't said anything about you in
Margot,
years, Jack.
Oh, that is so untrue, Margot.
You're right. I take that back. I haven't said anything about you.
You just can't stop lying.
I haven't said anything about you in 2 months.
Okay, Margot, let me ask this.
Yes.
That there's some reason that I feel like what maybe you're trying to do from your perspective is you're trying to protect the world from Jack, who you see as this terrible individual. If there's one thing that's so bad about Jack that we all need to be protected from, and understand, I've met Jack twice in person. It doesn't mean we know each other, but we've had very comfortable interactions. We don't agree on a lot of things, but we had a nice conversation. I don't see Jack as a threatening or terrible person. What is this one thing for why everyone should beware of Jack? If you could just boil it down to one thing.
I don't want to throw Jack under the bus. I just don't want him to tell everyone that I'm a liar.
What is the game, Margot?
There is no game.
The question.
I want Jack to tell everyone that I've not lied about him.
But we all know that to be false.
What did I lie about? What have I lied about?
You're part of the whole thing saying that he's the one that raped. You're one of the ones who's going around saying that he raped that girl. That's a lie.
Yes.
You don't know that.
Margot, you don't know that I'm innocent. And
How do you, Margot?
Exactly. You don't know that he did. That's a lie.
And you don't know that he didn't.
Exactly. So I don't say either way. I say the
Margot raped me, you guys. You raped me.
Hold on. Please. Zach, thank you. I see what you're trying to do, and I genuinely appreciate it. And Margot?
Yes.
Please. He's asking you a question because, in my opinion, I believe you lack clarity. You're not thinking through what you and I have experienced, and what particularly you haven't considered what you've done or the consequences that I've experienced.
What did I lie about, Jack?
Margot, you've been lying that I am a threat. You've been lying saying that my son is better off away from me. You've assumed to know a lot of things, and you've been gambling publicly with my reputation and yours. I've been asking you to stop for several years. So today, I know everything can change. Everything can happen in a day. So Margot and Zach, thank you.
You're welcome. And Margot,
yes.
Again, you're accusing Jack of being a liar, but you're also not answering the simple question that I'm asking you. And you just kind of made it clear that you're sort of accusing things of Jack that you don't really have evidence of one way or the other, which would show you're not exactly being honest.
What?
Again, can I ask you one more time? What is this one thing that you really want the world to understand about why Jack is a bad guy, or we shouldn't listen to him, or we should just turn off his podcast? Just give me that one thing, please, because I just want to understand.
You guys can do whatever you want. I'm just asking Jack to explain what I lied about.
Jack,
he likes to tell
you entertain
everyone.
these people, Jack, that are just like, I don't even know what it is. You're like a magnet for people that are just like seeking attention.
I don't know.
And want to use
Exactly. Why does Jack like to tell
Margo,
people that
I'm sorry,
lied?
but you're I mean, Jack, seriously, you let these people come on here and just play these games with you. I think if you get rid of them, your panel will start filling up with better people. So that's all I got to say.
Hey, you're absolutely right. I hope for a way to communicate, because that's the ego. Once we can get past the mind, the confusion, the prideful, she's bitter and resentful. And Zach, yes, there are patterns in my life. I have been attracting, it seems, people who have these emotional wounds that they just project all over me. Margo started it, and then I found Paulie Boy and Snafu and all these others, man.
Jack, maybe, I don't know if it would work or not, but seriously, if you just do a stream where you start with your monologue and you talk about bad Jack in the past and how you've overcome a lot of those things and what you're still working on, all these people come on here all the time, try to judge you and drag you under the bus. Maybe they'll just ease up or go away. Because I don't know what else they want. But
can we do a gematria decode on Margo?
Who's that?
That would be fun as fuck.
I don't know who that is. I got to get back to work, but God, some of these characters, Jack, they gotta. I'm sorry, you've given them enough time. She comes on here and tries to make it seem like you're a horrible human being, and I just wanted to hear it, and then she couldn't even say. I mean, it's like adios. All right, take care, all.
Thank you, Zach. Appreciate you, brother. I do feel like maybe it's time to wrap up anyway. It was a good run, a good go.
That was such a good idea I had.
What was it? Oh, yeah. Maybe I'll play it. I think I've still got the link up. Maybe I'll play around and see what the numbers show. But I don't know.
And you should do a Jack one too.
It's been done.
And then man, you're gonna pick and choose words. You have a conflict of interest in this. Don't give me those eyebrows.
Actually, I don't know. We'll see what the future brings. Thank you, Flo. Anything else?
Nope. Be good. Thanks for having me. Salute to the chat.
Peace. Thank you.
Peace, everyone.
Speed.
Thanks, Jack.
Scott. Blessings. Thank you, brother. Scott.
Jack, I wanted to let that kind of play out, and see what happened. Margo's she's an accident waiting to happen as far as you're concerned. I don't know what to read on that one.
I know she's not a bad person. Just like my ex-wife. I know my ex-wife gets along swimmingly with other people, but for whatever reason, she couldn't get along with me. And that's the same with Margo. So what Margo and Paul and these others have allowed me to do, since I've devoted myself to the spiritual path, I love those who hurt me. Scott, your noise, man. God.
Sorry about that. Okay, but listen. That was just the pepper grinder. I'm sorry.
No, it's the lack of respect again.
I had it muted the whole time. It's not respect, dude. We're just talking. What the fuck? You okay?
You're making all this noise, not caring.
I'm cooking the fuck. Hey, look, I'm in the kitchen making some food.
It's about Scott, please.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, Jack, it's about me. I was going to tell you that Margo coming up here and making a goddamn statement that, oh, you don't know he hasn't, is befuddling. It's like, holy shit, we're going to make an accusation of sexual deviancy and violence and say, oh, it's based on, well, you don't know that he didn't do it, did you? What the fuck is that? My exact statement on that one is, if you let her up again and think she's an okay person, you really should check yourself on that. That's not okay. There's nothing about that that's okay. It's fucking bizarre. That's all I can say.
I appreciate
Just wrong, and
Hey,
Well,
thank you.
you can't let it happen.
What you said was on top of my honest testimony that it didn't happen. So she and many others have been ignoring my words. Why?
So,
Why should I
Jack,
wait? Why should I allow
Okay.
you here?
I'm just gonna say, if you think Ham Banana, who is known for pedophile optics,
Oh my goodness gracious, brothers and sisters, I do love you. I do love all of you, even the haters, even the ones who are just bitter and nasty towards me. I love you. And I believe and I trust God loves you. Because I'm pretty sure that's what God is love. We have the free will each day. I see so many people in the chat, so many people with their disagreements and their opinions. If you actually paid attention, the truth is true. I don't speak it flawlessly, I don't speak it perfectly, but my love for God is sincere and true, and it's a relationship I never knew was possible. In your mind, you can travel the distance of time and space to overcome that immediately. You can connect with God through the holiness of life. It is with you. To become embodied with the Holy Spirit, that's the whole teachings of Jesus. We are here to live with the Christic, with the good, becoming one with the good, humble to the world, but prepared to be the world, to unite with the world, to unite the world. I know many beliefs, many religions, they don't want to accept these ideas, but especially the Christians, come on now. If you're supporting this political system and excited for the chance to vote, neither side is planning to change things. And this idea of paying for wars while there's men, women, children denied the basics. Brothers and sisters, this is our lifetime to change this world. And growing up, I used to believe the world couldn't change, but I've mentioned before, in my life as a man, if you want to know, and actually I probably will share, I've been blessed with my life, the algorithms, whatever it is. I've been blessed in this life to learn from amazing men and women, true scholars, true amazing teachers and investigators and journalists, true people who've dedicated their lives to discovering what is real. I've been blessed to discover many. Now, there's many running around here thinking they are reporting, but all they're doing is just accusing. Margot, snafu. Eventually, the time will come. Eventually, the day will happen. And brothers and sisters, turn to God now. Repent from your old ways, the ways of selfishness. We're already 2 hours in. There was a couple of my notes too, selfishness and Satanism. But know yourself as the goodness that God sent into the world, and embody the goodness of life that you are. It becomes easier when we stop trying to figure it out. We just allow ourselves to be aligned with the moment, to be aligned with love. Set yourself free and you realize you already were. You always were. Brothers and sisters, I'm going to wrap up there. Sincerely to all who tuned in presently or in the future, God bless you. Thank you again. Let's see what the future brings. Choose love, peace for everyone, and live without fear. God bless. Peace.